Perfect.
That's gonna sound weird.
Bad even.
That was half of a grunkle, of a little gruntle. What were we talking? Okay, I'm Mike.
I'm
and
Brady.
That's Brady.
Hello.
You can introduce yourself.
I'm Brady. Hello.
Brady's got a big puffy microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a hard little one.
Anyway, introductions are out of the way.
Okay.
You know what our
This is-
microphones are like and their
is this-
textures.
Episode 7 or 6, 7, 8.
We did 1. We did 2.
You're right.
The absurdity of counting like it's something special. We did 3 and 4. We did 5 and 6.
So it's 7.
This is episode 7.
I believe this is 7.
Well, anyway.
What were we talking about right before we turned on?
Christian memes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We were talking about Christian memes for some reason. Because there's that one that's like... Well, how did it go?
Oh, the myth of consent. Isn't
Yeah.
there someone you forgot to ask? It's like, I say no.
I
It's
didn't know
Jesus.
that was a real thing that people took seriously.
I think it was taken seriously in the very beginning
Yeah,
and never again.
of course. Well, it reminded me of one I saw where it was like this stock image of a guy climbing up a ladder, and it was like from his POV, and it said, "You can't get to heaven with your hands full of penis" or something. It was like
I
real.
think you told me about that.
Yeah, I think I put it on my Instagram once, like on my
In your story?
yeah, on my story.
Watch me. Well,
We had a lot to say, and then we pressed record.
uh-huh. We were in a Corden mood, but
Yeah,
what does
we're
that
in
mean?
We're in a Corden mood with Corbin Blue of Jump In. And then I was talking about how I constantly am remembering things from Disney Channel and PBS Kids that is apparently obscure to other people.
Yeah, he remembered Jefferson Steelflex
And Alvin Yakitori from Drake and Josh.
and
And I remembered
not crucial information.
and I remembered that I learned about that binoculars man from Arthur.
Hey, do you have anything to say? I want to put my mic in the stand. I was holding my microphone, so our setup
You don't
works.
like it?
My arm's getting tired.
You got rested on your knee pits.
All right, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Our setup, for people who don't know, which is everyone,
Yes.
is I have a mic stand. Mike, ironically, does
Does
not
not have a mic stand.
just hold. He is the
I
mic
am the
stand.
mic stand.
And he just holds his microphone the whole podcast, which is why you always, I don't know, if there are fluctuations in volume
It's
and then
because my head
silences.
go off.
That's exactly why.
When I talk, my head moves to the side. Is it right?
You talk right.
I talk right.
Picture
and
left.
I do it without thinking. When I get really absorbed with what I'm saying,
And
it
then
make my head move.
I have to take him out of it to direct him back to the microphone so all you wonderful non-existent people can hear it.
That's why I got to get one of those gamer microphones that are stuck to my head.
Yeah.
I can be gamer presenting.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a while back, earlier this week. Oh God, it's Monday. Last week.
Yeah.
Late last week.
It's Veterans Day.
It's Veterans Day.
The
It's
day we're recording this.
November 11th,
So
Monday. We don't have class.
Nothing's open and no class.
And I
What is this Veterans Day? Because you got no class.
like a school in July. Anyway, I told Mike he was gamer passing. And he
That was
said,
yesterday.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
We were
right.
playing
Okay.
Gambus.
That's right. You were gamer passing.
Yes.
And he is. I stand by it.
But I'm not really a gamer. I play games very rarely.
But you wouldn't know that from looking at him.
Yeah, apparently. Because first of all, I'm white.
Well,
I'm male.
2 for.
I've got glasses.
Well, 3 for.
And I wear graphic tees sometimes.
Uh-huh.
There we go. It's sealing the deal.
Yeah. And you occasionally use big words. But you know what they mean. But
But
gamers
I don't
like to pretend.
Yeah,
to know what
it's
they
not
mean.
like I'm stroking my cock with them.
I mean, I realized a lot of my personality comes from silent facial expressions,
Yeah.
which don't really pick up well on this microphone.
Oh, you're right. Well, I think the our famous dead air, as you like to call it.
Oh, that's what's happening. It's the residue of that.
Yeah,
It's
it's
last podcast. I never talked.
Hey, it's Bridget.
Never talked about.
She's at the window.
Oh, and Bridget Mom.
And it's mommy.
We may have to pause.
Want to pause?
Let's pause.
Okay, let's pause.
We're back.
Were we recording the whole time?
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're gonna go meet a new cat now.
Yes, my friend Jameson has
Yes.
recently
Deceased.
reached within to his local animal shelter and found a friend
So has
and
Leah.
boy. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 new cats. 2 new cats on the block.
It's wonderful, really.
Yes.
What were we just saying? Gamer presenting.
Yeah.
Residue.
Oh yeah, when you stop to make a face, it's like that pause.
It's
Carries
a pregnant
information.
pause.
Yeah.
And it's going to give birth to my face. Yeah. David say thing.
What?
David say thing.
What did
Residue.
He was talking about residue?
He was like a drawing where you draw and erase and draw and erase is so much
We
more
talked about
interesting
this
than
last time.
hitting it one time. But I think we didn't talk about it very much.
Okay. Is there more to say about
I
it?
like the idea of residue.
Me
I don't
too.
know. I think there is more to say about it, but I may not have thought about what it is that it needs to be more to be said.
Well, I think what's to be said is, at what point does it just become lazy, like leaving lines there, and at what point is it good?
It's lazy if you're leaving them and they detract.
Well, how do you know if they detract?
I don't know.
Hello.
Hold on one sec.
Speak up.
We'll be back later, boyo.
Off.
Well, we've been gone for an hour and a half. Lots of things have happened.
Feels like we've been gone for like 7 hours just because of how much stuff happened.
Yeah, what did happen? We went and met a new cat.
Yes.
We ate at a new restaurant, which was mediocre at
I
best.
loved it. You didn't like it?
It was all spice and no spice. And no thrice, no divide. I don't know. It was all spice.
The pork was good, and I don't usually like pork. And
the pork was fatty.
The grits were good.
The pork was giddy.
Well, maybe I'm just happy to be with friends.
Oh, I was too. But
sorry.
all right.
Ha.
What were we talking about?
My autism.
Would you like to tell your dream or no?
You tell your dream first. We have 2 controversial dreams.
Controversial is a strong word for dreams because it's not as though they are opinions that we hold.
We didn't. No, neither of these are.
You can't claim that a dream was premeditated.
I can't choose to have a dream.
Yeah,
it
I
happens
can't
on its
choose
own.
mine either.
What it
So-
says about me, that's up to interpretation.
Yeah, and we'll stand by the things we said in one of our previous episodes, which is that we stand by. We believe we can say things, say bad things, knowing that we are good people,
Yes.
and knowing that we don't believe them.
Absolutely.
That said,
It's like even if I am subconsciously racist, because I had a very racist dream, that doesn't mean that I'm consciously racist, and that's what matters.
that is what matters. You're prevailing. Your wisdom is showing.
Yes,
Oops, your wisdom popped out.
Are we gonna tell that story too?
You're welcome to.
Okay, I was with a stripper and my dick popped out, and I said, "Oops, my dick popped out." Because I also have to explain that
I'm
I
tickled pink that that's a sentence that you've uttered.
Well, I was wearing a thong and a really short skirt.
You know how you do.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so my dream, since we're getting controversial with it, my dream was I was just walking and talking with Mike here.
That's me.
Vsauce, Mike here.
We should get him on the show.
Yes.
He should be a guest.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome.
I was just walking and talking with Mike. And
This is in your dream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
in
heard
my
this
dream.
before. I'm
I
just
wish
making
my
sure.
phone would turn on. My phone turn on. What the hell?
Yeah, mine's been doing that too ever since I dropped it in the bath.
Joey got stung by a bee.
The cat?
The cat we just met got
Right
stung by
now?
a bee. I got to reply, is he okay?
There was a bee in the house?
I don't know how. All right. Would you... No. I will... Let me express sympathy for Joey. I'm going to pause this. Cat
All right,
need
we're
help.
Pausing a lot this episode.
I'm sorry. All right.
But
so,
it's also bee related.
Oh.
Okay, so when I was like 8 years old, my dog had a big, like round red bump on his lip, and we thought he got stung by a bee on his lip or something, and then it just turned out he had like a marble in his mouth. We were gonna take him to the hospital and everything, and then he just spit it out at the end.
Prank. Huh. Dogs.
Now you.
Who made him? Oh, my dream. I was walking with Michael. In my memory, we were walking up to the park garage,
Oh yeah.
or
Wait, in the dream? Or is
Speedway.
this
Yeah,
when you
in the
told me
dream
the
we were
dream?
walking up. No.
Okay.
In the dream, we were walking up to a parking garage on campus, and
I have athlete's foot.
Mike was telling me that he had recently, I guess it was understood that you had recently done a stint in jail, and I was asking him how it was, and his response was to assure me that you get used to the prison rape after a while, and he was even doing things like bending over, grabbing his ankles, fully clothed. Here we are.
Yes.
And he was like, yeah, you get used to it after a while. And I just remember walking alongside him being horrified. Horrified that it was like certain that if I went to jail, I would get hosed.
Well, see, that is interesting to think about. Like, what does that say both about how I present myself and how you perceive me? You know, I mean, it must say something.
Yes, but it's not logical, so it's almost not worth overthinking.
Yeah,
It's
that's
definitely
true.
not
Not worth overthinking. Because it's not important. It's just interesting, I think.
Oh no, a bee flew in and he swat at it, and it stung his paw.
Oh, the beans.
This cat has pink beans.
Cat got beans.
Beans go pink. My worst joke ever. Let's edit it out.
Yeah. But, but your dream, that's one of the only times I'll ever laugh at a prison rape type joke thing.
Yes.
Because I hate prison rape jokes.
In all
general.
media, they're terrible.
I've never seen a good one. Even like, there's even one in Looney Tunes.
There's one in SpongeBob.
Yeah, that one's okay. That one's not that bad.
It's not egregious.
Don't
but
drop
it's
the
still,
soap.
It's still a prison rape joke.
Yeah, I guess it is, but it's like,
Uh-oh, Kaya.
oh,
Here.
we can talk more
We're
after.
pausing again.
Okay, are you done with
Kaya's
yours?
Here now.
Yes, Kaya
No, really,
is now here.
And your full name's attached to this.
Sorry.
We can edit that out.
I
All right.
like your name. Okay, I'll cut it out. I'll put a duck quack in front of it. That's how I censor things.
That's right.
That's how I did on the other ones.
That's a carryover. I like that.
yeah. We're carrying over
Continuity.
from season to season.
Okay. Well, I told my controversial dream, which was not really controversial.
I think it was a little. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just controversial due to the subject matter.
Yeah, but I didn't like. There were no opinions ostensibly stated. Yours neither.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can say it if you want.
Okay.
I can ask Kaya to leave if you're uncomfortable around
No,
them.
it's okay. I have to say 3/4 of the N-word in order to explain my dream properly.
No,
I know that wasn't in my dream. Only 3/4 of it were.
it's true. It's
Yeah.
quite funny.
It's hard to explain.
Well,
When
now
you
that
want-
I've said that 3/4 of the N-word is very funny, I think you better give us some context.
Okay.
It looks like a barcode.
So I know that's weird. Okay, so I had this dream. It was like I woke up feeling bad about it, and that doesn't happen because I felt like, wow, that was a really racist dream. But I can't control my dreams. So I had a dream that me and my friend, and it might have been Brady, but I'm not sure, were walking up to this diner. It looked like a diner from the outside, and the name of the diner was Niggo's. And
Can't stand it.
when we went in, it gets worse.
I know. I've heard it 3 times. It's been funny every time.
We went in and
Funny 'cause it's like so blatant.
I know.
Let's keep going.
We went in and it was an Ethiopian restaurant, and I was the only white person. Everyone was black, and we were in like a little waiting room, and I was waiting to get in, and they let my friend in. So I guess it wasn't you
I'm
because
as white as they come.
yeah. But for some reason it felt like it was you. And they let my friend in, and they wouldn't let me in, and they stopped me and said, "No, we don't serve your kind here." And then we have a friend named James, and he's like, what, a quarter black?
Yes.
He's a quarter black. And in the dream, he was there suddenly for some reason, and they wouldn't let him in either. And so I was like, "But he's black!" And then that was the end of my dream.
Oh, God.
It was very bizarre.
Do you suppose we should have a sensitive discussion about this, or does it not bear it?
What did you have in mind?
I don't know. I just feel bad about laughing about that. But I'm laughing at how ridiculously over the top it is.
No, yeah, that's the joke. I don't
it's
think that's the
so-
same. That's not that you're laughing at the N-word or
And just the
something.
pure comedy of the way that name of the restaurant
Yeah.
sounds like.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh my
It's
God.
absurd.
It's
That's what
absurd,
makes it
yeah.
funny.
It's absurdly racist.
It is.
Episode title.
And I don't know, honestly, but I don't know. Just like with my other dreams, I have no idea what prompted this. Like, what in my life made me think of these things specifically.
Yeah, why did I have a dream about Mike
being raped in prison.
Defending prison rape. Not defending, saying that it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you were so ready to go to jail for this project that you were
Oh,
working
that's
on,
true.
Which my parents fully support. I wanna
Yeah,
make that
I'm
known.
glad,
My
I'm
dad
glad.
was like, if they find Mike for littering, I will pay it.
I hope I get charged for littering. I hope I get charged for worse than littering. No,
Well,
this is my Hobby Lobby project.
Yeah, inside Jobby Lobby project.
Yeah, I've decided I'm going to get someone to make a website for it so that people can participate all around the nation and perhaps the globe. Although I don't know if Hobby Lobby, they're only American, right?
Because that's the only.
They're gonna look for something to charge me with.
Leaving
Probably.
stuff in their store, I guess, like intentionally leaving.
Because it's not vandalism.
Non-merchandise. Yeah. And okay, so I was thinking this also. So we talked about Obvious Plant, and I talked about how you might reach out to him.
I still haven't done that yet.
That's fine.
I want to, though.
I think when you're more finalized, you should, like, send him some pictures.
This Christmas, I'm going to make tons and tons of copies of all my stuff.
Well, I was thinking, so he doesn't put barcodes on his stuff.
Oh.
And so maybe it's better. This is what I was thinking about at breakfast with my parents today. I was like, maybe it's better that you don't, because then they're like, I can't find a barcode on this, and they have to start a discussion if they want to buy it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
The flip side of that is they go and do inventory, and they're like, what is this, and throw them away.
Oh, yeah.
If they see the barcode,
but that's
and
why
it scans, then that might be something else.
Well, if they throw it away, that's why I liked your idea. Like, I'm gonna make tons and tons of them. I'm gonna calculate how many I need for how long of an amount of time I want to do it for, so that we can do this over like a long period of time. So they'll be like, where do these things keep coming from? Or
that
something
would be
like that.
cool. That'd be funny.
And I want to be able to make enough that if someone somewhere else in the country wants to participate, I can send them to them.
This is
Something like that.
ridiculous. This has only been going for 18 minutes. For us, it's been like 4.5
Yeah,
hours.
I know. I feel it's weird. This is gonna be a weird episode,
Time slippage.
but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I just thought about the phrase dick slippage. For no reason. It's almost as good as the war on poop.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to explain that?
No, there's nothing to explain. I thought about the war on drugs. I was helping my aunt with some yard work. And I was like spacing out. You know how you do when you're around family.
Yeah.
Um,
You dissociate.
Of course. And I thought about the phrase the war on drugs, and then I thought about all those memes where it's like, I gotta go see my poop dealer, which I absolutely hated. And
I've never seen
Yeah,
those.
no one else seems to be aware of them.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Instagram was just like, hey, idiot, look at this. But I saw them everywhere, and thank God they've gone away, because they were really, truly awful.
Yeah.
They always blindsided me. I was never ready for them. And then the war on poop. It's as simple
Nice.
as that.
I love it.
Mike thought it was more like the war on Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I
Which
immediately
is
thought of the
even
war on
funnier.
Christmas. Like, it was, conservatives are like ranting about the war
Liberals
on poop.
trying to take their poop.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, enough. We can talk about anything else. We went and ate mediocre food.
I liked it, and we talked about that.
Oh,
already.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm too ready to roast
I
this
think the
place.
only thing, the other thing that's been on like my mind, in regards to like my Hobby Lobby thing, I watched that David Lynch video that you told me about, and it made me have insights about my Hobby Lobby project, because what it was talking about was how David Lynch, specifically in his paintings, which I've always loved his paintings, but I didn't completely understand why I loved them. What he does is he has like really disturbing imagery of like very everyday things.
Ayo. Where is that?
California.
I meant the location, the sushi place.
I like the California.
Okay. I go to a sushi place that looks like that sometimes.
Oh.
Is it like one of those conveyor belt places? Oh, damn. No fun, this one. Sorry.
No
I
conveyor.
like your hair.
Good hair.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay. So it's like the idea is that he draws everyday things like smoking or like just as like a boy in a field or something, and he paints them very like twisted and disturbingly, and then he writes words on his paintings that just state literally what it is. Like it'll just say smoking, or it'll just say like boy in field, or man by door,
I
or something.
That. It's been a long time since I watched this video.
The idea is that he thinks that when you add words to something, that immediately changes the meaning, because he gave the example that like something even like a scab can be beautiful if you're like if you imagine you're zoomed into a scab, you can notice like the beautiful way the nature works of like the crescents and curves and the divots and stuff like that. And if you don't know that it's a scab, then you won't have that immediate reaction. But then suddenly if you label it scab, then immediately your brain changes and says, okay, this is no longer beautiful to me, because you have that association. And so what he's trying to do with his paintings is he's trying to take these like mundane things, or he takes these very disturbing, twisted imagery, and then he puts like mundane language to associate with it. It's because the word changes how you, like, your association with those words.
That's
or like
pretty
the
cool.
image changes your association with those words. And that was an interesting thing behind David Lynch's work that I had never realized before, because I understood his work in a slightly different but like similar way. And in the context of his films, what he always does in his films is he has this, he always has a contrast between the really mundane and the really grotesque and disturbing. Like in Blue Velvet, there's a lot of like classic, like 1950s Americana. Like even the beginning of the movie starts with like a white picket fence and everything, and then that's all contrasted by like domestic violence and drugs and spoilers, like in the beginning of the movie they find a severed ear in their backyard.
Whoa.
And just stuff like that. And it's like the same thing
this.
as like with Eraserhead. Eraserhead is a movie about raising a child, but it's the idea that it's all the elements of raising a child, but with all what it would be with all the joy sucked out of it. Like
Oh
if
my
the
God.
baby, that's the concept behind it. Like if the baby was not lovable at all, it's just like this disgusting worm creature who constantly cries and constantly gets sick, and that's the concept, is like raising the child but with all the fun things sucked out. And so that's what he does with his films, and I think that's similar to what I'm doing, because I'm very inspired by David Lynch, but I've not always been able to understand why. What I'm doing with my Hobby Lobby project is I'm taking like this, because I think that the stuff they sell at Hobby Lobby, like the really gross positive, like fakey positive Instagram looking, like put this on your rich white daughter's dorm room or your grandma's living room or whatever, that's like our modern equivalent of like 1950s Americana.
Oh, that's our picket fence.
Yeah, because we look at that stuff now and we think that's really disturbing in a weird way because it's so fake. Or like when you look at like 1950s sitcoms where everyone was like robotically happy and stuff. And I think in the future we're going to look back on this stuff and we're going to feel the same way about it. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take that aesthetic and I'm trying to contrast that with something grotesque and disturbing like domestic abuse or school shooters or stuff like that. And I even think some of the panels that I made for this project specifically kind of work the same way David Lynch's paintings do, where I have something where it says like "No girls allowed" or
Yeah, that one.
"Do
is
you believe
so
in
good.
God?" Or I'm gonna do another one that does like "Boys will be boys," but I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do for the image yet. And then I contrast it with like
Date rape. Like
yeah, that's what I was
frat
thinking.
boy.
I'm
date
gonna do
rape case.
something
That'd
rape
be-
related. I think,
not
for
to
that one.
tell you what you should.
No,
do.
that is what I was going for.
Okay.
I don't know specifically what image I'm going to use yet. But like the No Girls Allowed, I compared that with, maybe I'll even put pictures up on the thing. Like I contrasted that with an image of Elliot Rodger, who was an incel in 2014 who killed a bunch of people because of he felt like he had been rejected by women his whole life, and so he hated women and he hated the men who were successful with women, and he wrote this whole manifesto of why he felt like he had been wronged by the world and why he hated society and everyone so much, and that was his motivation for killing these people and stuff like that. And so I like the idea of putting his image next to that phrase, which there are things in Hobby Lobby that say that, because you're supposed to put it on like your little boy's
Yeah.
room and stuff. It's like, I think that changes the meaning of the words when you see the image.
Yeah, that like stopped me in my tracks when I saw you doing
I'm
that.
so happy.
It was
Thank you.
really, really good.
I think the only one that doesn't follow that formula was the first one I did. Now that I think of it, the one where it was like the hand holding the bells and it said, I come home every day, or I work hard every day just to feed my nagging wife and her 3 ungrateful children. Like, I'm still gonna use that one because I think it works.
It's very
But
it works.
it doesn't follow the same like Lynchian formula because I'm not using a phrase that is common and mundane compared with something extreme. Instead, it's just something extreme and something extreme. But I'm still going to use, because you could still argue that the comparison there is still that it's formatted like a Hobby Lobby wall art thing. So.
This is interesting. I like the notion of like the mixture of very disparate tones.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another reason. That's another reason I think like David Lynch is a genius, because he basically invented his own branch of surrealism.
I had a professor 2 semesters ago now in a figure drawing class who was really great. And one of the things that the class was one of those where you just, like David would call it, a tool sharpening class. You go in and just hone the skills that you need. And
Who was the teacher?
Jim Graham.
Oh, I never had him.
He was really great. Yeah. I actually met him over one summer. He happened to be somewhere I was, and
cool.
We got talking. Anyway, his class was fun, and I got to talk with him a bunch because just the way that my like easel was set up, I was over by where he was a lot.
Yeah.
So he'd comment, and there was a rapport.
Yeah.
We established a rapport.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he talked about, and we talked about one time, because he put on Gorillaz.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Don't mind that. It's happy noises.
Yeah,
it's happy
they're
screaming.
drunk,
We promise.
They're happy. Someone got a boyfriend or something.
It's true. And one of the things that we talked about when he put on Gorillaz, that was at the time that I was just discovering Gorillaz, and suddenly, frequency bias, I could see it and hear them everywhere.
Yeah.
Which I will tell that story.
What's frequency bias?
When you learn about something, you start to find it everywhere.
I see.
Newly developed knowledge makes you see it everywhere. That's my understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he and I were talking about, or he was saying that since, I don't know, Busby said this too, there's been nothing new since World War II.
What does that mean?
There have been no new art styles. Everything is just, and so what Jim Graham said was, the art, all art after postmodernism is the art of the mixture. And I think about that a lot, and I think there's truth to it.
Yeah.
I can't really conceive. Now, this is like trying to picture higher dimensions and stuff. It's like I can't conceive of a new idea because that would involve having a new idea.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever. But I think there's a lot of merit to the idea that the new thing is the mixture, the way that you mix them, what you mix, and how successful it is.
How is that different than the past movements?
I don't think it is different. I just think like
because they all mix.
They all do mix.
Yeah.
But I think it's like after postmodernism, which Busby describes as a train wreck.
Yeah.
He loves to.
I like some postmodernism.
Oh, I do too.
I don't think it's terrible.
The Chippendale chairs. Who made those?
I don't know what that is.
Oh God, I don't know. They're like they look ornate. They look like Gothic. Is it Gothic revivalist? Gothic revival style. Like they've got pointed arches and.
Oh, cool. Why do they call that Alvin and the Chipmunks?
No.
Wait, Chippendale? Okay.
I don't know why. I think it's maybe a name for a pattern or a style or an area, region. I don't know. But they're called.
There's a gay bar called Chippendales. In like San Francisco.
Chippendale. No.
It's one word?
Chippendale, yes.
And it's
I
not
assume it's a place.
It's not a reference to the Chipmunks?
No, this was around before. They were a reference to that.
What? Really?
Pretty sure.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
But anyway, it's just like these chairs that are made to look really ornate, but they're out of just molded plywood. And they have these horrible, gaudy 80s patterns slapped on top.
Wait, when were these made?
70s or 80s, I think. And so that's like the art of the mixture.
Oh.
Like these very clashing things.
I see.
So like David Lynch, these very clashing things, the mundane and the horrific.
Yeah.
Or like I just saw the movie Jojo Rabbit and I really loved it and it's been on my mind. And it mixes. What's up?
You're just talking about the notion of a dichotomy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it a bunch. But this particular dichotomy was like it's not an uncommon one. I just like the way that it was done. I hadn't seen a Nazi movie that did extremely silly and extremely sad together really well.
Yeah.
Or I don't think I'd seen.
I haven't seen it yet,
at
but
all.
I really want to see it.
It's very good. I highly recommend it.
The only extremely silly Hitler thing I can think of is like the Charlie Chaplin stuff. From way back when.
This is it's so goofy. But one of the things I really liked about it was, I think I told you this earlier, they did a really good job of making imaginary Hitler feel like the projection of a 10-year-old Nazi, which is a weird character to make.
It's a really unique idea.
Yeah, and it's really good. I loved it. The notion of the dichotomy. Yeah, I do like that, but also the notion of mixtures of lots of things.
Yeah, and that goes back to like
postmodern sense.
That reminds me of one thing David said about
Lynch?
No, David Christiana.
Christian,
He
yeah.
talks about like how we see through contrast.
Oh, he does say that a
And
lot.
so I think that your idea and the David Lynch thing, it's like you're able to point out things, observations that like David Lynch has made by exaggerating contrasting things.
And he also talks about contrasting mood and tone.
That too, yeah.
Like
Which I don't really even understand what the difference is still.
He always does this like demonstration. No one
Yeah.
ever asked for it, but he does it anyway.
But
Where
I'm not
he's like
complaining.
he does two versions of it. He's like, listen to this, and he goes, "Oh, I'm so mad I could just punch somebody," and then he goes, "I am so mad I could punch somebody," and like right up on some student's ear.
Oh, I remember that.
Not right
yeah.
up on, like not in a file a lawsuit distance, like a little further out, and he's like, "No, which one was weirder or creepier?"
Yeah.
And he's like, or which one had more of an impact?
Yeah.
And invariably, it's always the second one because
Yeah.
it's contrasting the mood in which you.
Oh, I get it.
The mood that you're in and the tone you're using to convey it, or the tone you're saying it with, expressing it with.
Like I feel like I did that with my painting of the girl who's ripping herself apart, and it's like I don't know which one's the mood and which one's the tone.
In the swing colors.
Yeah, in the colors of the swing.
Mood and tone, I forget. One is on the
Because they sound
audience side, and one is
interchangeable
on
to
the
me.
author's side. This is like in the literary things that I learned in 6th grade.
I don't
remember.
even know what that. Yeah.
Eh.
I never even thought about what the difference was, but that's interesting. I like what he says about when you're painting, you're trying to convey an emotion. Oh, I forgot what he said exactly. It was like, don't try to.
Oh, is this the thing about the emotion is on the side of the viewer, not the side of the artist?
Yes, like the
great
artist
art.
should have control over how he wants like the audience to react, and it shouldn't necessarily just be like don't.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
leaving that in.
Good. I swear these are good sounds.
Yes, as far
Not
as
that
I
good.
know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we haven't checked in a while, but it's probably okay.
I'm gonna bet my money that they're
Alright.
fine.
Maybe we should tape like a blanket up or something.
Will that help?
It would kill echo reflections. That's too much work right now.
Yeah, it's fine. I forgot what I was saying.
I'm not here for quality.
Of course not. If you
I-
expected quality,
Look somewhere else. I forgot what you were saying also. That's going to make an awful sound.
I'll delete it.
Whatever. It's fine. It'll be fun. It'll be ASMR.
It'll
what
be
did you say was like,
funny.
oh, we were talking about,
Mood and
this
tone.
is perfect because Kaya's here. Kaya wants me to become a drawing YouTuber.
Oh yes,
Um,
and you should.
and I don't disagree that would be fun.
You've got the dick for it.
Cut that out.
No.
Okay. You're the editor, man. I can't control you.
Yeah.
I mistakenly assumed you would respect me.
Of course not.
Yeah. I'm so distracted by that. I can't remember what I was
You're
going
a
to say.
YouTuber.
Not right now.
You're gonna be.
Yeah, but where was I going?
You're gonna be an art man YouTuber.
Oh, we were talking about watching speed paints and how
Wow.
David Christiana, we really only know how to talk about one dude on this show.
Well,
don't
he's
we?
in our life a lot.
Yeah.
We should have him on the podcast as a
He wouldn't
guest.
do it.
Why not?
We'll have to do it.
We'll have to record him in
Secretly.
secret
Mhm.
and then put it on.
And then put it on the internet. And
Let's-
we'll record his social security number and
Let-
the 3 numbers on the
we
back of
should
his credit card
get
and the
prepared.
12 on the front.
We should prepare questions and ask him, and I'll record him on my phone.
No, I'm not. I don't think we should do that. I
It's
don't
not
think
illegal.
I think it might be.
Recording people in a public area, it's like you don't.
Signed a contract saying you wouldn't do that.
I did. When did I sign
when
that?
you signed up for school,
But what if we're not in school?
it's still your professor. conflict of interest.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not going to do that. He either comes onto the show willingly or not at all.
Okay. Fine. We'll do it your way.
But my way will hold up in court.
Yeah, that's true.
And now I've forgotten again. Yeah.
Contrasting tone.
I was on to something else. Drawing YouTuber.
Oh, yeah.
Speed paints. David does not like speed paints, and he said he basically swore them off eternally.
I think he just thinks they're trendy and dumb.
I think he's right in a way.
Sometimes,
but
not
also
always.
I think he may misunderstand why people watch them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do watch them to copy their artist. First of all, copying someone you admire is how you get your own style. So keep doing that.
Yeah.
Or rather, I don't think it's bad to watch them and like say this is how I'll do my drawings too. But you can't say like, oh, this is how all artists draw, or like this is the best way to do a painting.
This is what makes you an artist.
Is doing this. That's right. But then there's another category. Like I will still go and watch people that I really love draw because I just love to watch how they do it, like their own personal. I'm not trying to take anything from it. It's just, and you said it's like ASMR for your eyes.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's just relaxing, but also very inspiring to watch them draw.
And it's also cool, I think, if it's an artist you already knew, and it's like, here's a drawing I like, and now I get to watch the creation of this drawing that inspired me.
The process is fascinating.
Yeah. Like, I don't usually like the ones where it's like, here's a hyper-realistic drawing of a famous celebrity. And watch me
took
do
me
a
40
time-lapse.
hours, and here's a time-lapse where it's 4 minutes with an electronic song in the
Yeah,
background.
I don't really like those. I like the ones where they talk, and you can listen to them. Like, there's a speed painter. I think her name is like Happy D Artist or something, and it's she's really good. She does
Consider her shouted out to
oil
this
paints.
audience.
I'll put a link in the
podcast.
description.
All right. Yeah. Oh, Lavender
Oh,
Town?
I forgot about Lavender Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Lavender Town a lot. Very cute.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice shadows.
Yeah.
Fun little... I'm so bad at making fun little characters. I'm so awful
Really?
at that. Yeah. Name... You like my art? Name one fun little character. There aren't any. You know, like cutesy little appealing characters.
You like them, though.
Me fly off bed.
Because you like Over the Garden Wall.
It's true. They are fun and simplify. I need to just simplify more.
Yeah, I think you need to not be afraid to stylize.
Good point.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just going to be like, this head is just going to be a perfect circle.
But that scares me.
Things scare me too. I get apprehensive about stepping out of like my comfort zone about like subject matter and stuff like that. That's what makes me uncomfortable, but that discomfort is like, that's how you know you're learning, is when you feel uncomfortable.
Damn it, there's probably merit to that.
Yeah. Like doing stuff realistically is hard for me.
That's how I started. I did art backwards.
Yeah.
I did the...
It's okay.
I did the...
You reverse engineered it.
Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. It'll just make me sound like a dick.
Well, I mean, you're talking about art. It's hard to avoid that.
Yeah. Talking about art, it's hard to avoid dicks.
Yes, that's also true.
Didn't you say last episode that the point of an art education has become more of a tool?
Did I say that?
I think in so many words. Not in so many words.
I don't remember what I meant by that.
Oh, whatever. It's recorded.
Okay.
That's the whole damn point.
Okay.
Well, what else happened to us today?
I was working on an animation since like 9 a.m.
Do you need to go back? Get your things.
By George? Yeah. I left my backpack there.
Why don't we just do an hour for this?
All right. How far are we in?
40 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go back and then I'm going to paint a giant painting. I'm painting a thing that's 6 feet by 4 feet, which is the biggest painting I've ever made. Unless you count like some of the murals I've done, which I don't know if they're really bigger or not. But it's the biggest like canvas I've ever worked on, and probably the biggest oil painting I've ever done. And it's gonna be really fun. And I'm worried about it, but I'm more excited than I am worried about it.
It's got a lot of potential.
I'm
I
really
liked
happy.
your pitch on it.
Thank you.
I haven't started my project.
Do you want to start with me tomorrow?
Well,
Because I don't think
we
we're gonna
have class,
but we're not really gonna do anything in David's class. I don't think.
We're doing business stuff for the first hour.
I'm
right?
probably just gonna like paint while I listen to him. I don't think he'd have a problem with that.
Yeah,
You can probably do the same thing.
I mean, I always sketch or doodle while I listen to stuff, but
yeah.
I don't know. I felt bad. I missed the class where he said "Okay, Boomer."
We can try to get him to do it again.
No, that's not what I meant. I was mostly like, I also missed the things that he was giving advice on. I saw Patreon written on the board when I came back in.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
What are his feelings on that? I'm curious.
I don't remember. I think I wasn't paying attention during that part, but I paid attention to some of the other stuff, and it was really interesting. And he showed us some illustrators that were really interesting.
I feel like he would be all for Patreon. He'd be like, "This is a way that artists can make money. Good."
Oh, I think I remember now. He didn't know what Patreon was, and someone suggested it.
Oh, okay.
And then he wrote it up on the board.
Hmm.
I don't remember. I think he was for it.
Oops.
But one of the things that was interesting is he told us, like, someone asked, like, how many artists have you met who were like really huge dicks in real life? And he said not many. And then he was like, oh, but one, and it was my favorite artist.
Boy, F.
What was his name? I showed him to you. Oh, he's still on my phone. An illustrator.
Leonard Baskin.
Yeah, Leonard Baskin. Apparently he was a huge dick who was like always constantly challenging things that people said and stuff like that, which I see merit in that in a sense. But
Go on.
I think
Go on, Chrome. Okay.
I think it's important to challenge things, but I think that sometimes people take that and they do it. You know, I think sometimes, because obviously, if you talk to me, you know I'm the kind of artist who likes to challenge people, but I wouldn't want it to become such of like a persona that I'm doing it when I don't feel like I need to. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, totally.
It's like, because I want to be able to agree with people sometimes and have normal conversations and stuff, but I think that sometimes people who are of my ilk will sometimes take it too far because that's really cool.
This is a very, very fat bird.
They like the perception of being the artist who is controversial and who always confronts people. And I think that that's a really unhealthy mentality to have.
It really doesn't facilitate conversation if you're just being a dick so
Yeah.
that people don't want to talk to you.
And I heard something about this today because I was listening to that other podcast that I can't remember the full name of. And somebody mentioned something that I thought was really interesting. And it's like, you shouldn't try to be different just for the sake of being different, because people who do that are all different in the same way.
That's good.
And it's like, if you are trying to be, if you're only, because I think there's a lot of value in being reactionary to certain things and having reactionary art, but you shouldn't be reactionary for no reason, because then I think I kind of talked about this on the last podcast with like the N-word and stuff. It's like, you shouldn't just be reactionary to everything that you come across, because then you're just as controlled by those things as someone who is compliant to those to anything they come across.
If that thing forces you to
be reactionary,
then it's still controlling you, just like if it forced you into silence.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I think if you're going to be reactionary, it should be something. It should be about something that you genuinely disavow, or something that you feel there is not enough of a reaction against in society.
Picking your battles.
Yes, exactly. And it is trying to since I'm a reactionary artist primarily, it's up to me to decide if I feel like I need to react against something. Am I doing this because I have a genuine concern about it, or am I doing this because I want the image of being someone who is reactionary? And that's an important thing to be able to decipher between, I guess.
Yeah, it's important to distinguish between posturing and
exactly
genuine intent.
And sometimes it's hard, because sometimes like the thing you're posturing as sometimes comes from a genuine place, so you can't always distinguish. But yeah.
What was I just thinking about? Oh, I was just thinking about I don't know, you were talking about wanting to be a certain kind of thing with your personally or in your art, which probably isn't much of a difference. At this point, it's very intertwined.
Yeah, for me it is. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking as I'm sitting here trying to write a little story for the remainder of the semester project that we have. I'm being confronted with the fact that I'm nowhere near as good a storyteller as I want to be, because I value good stories over almost anything. Or they impact me more than just about anything else. A well-told story is really, and well-told doesn't mean verbally, or it could be visually, or it could be
like you're talking about the way the story is built, I guess.
Yeah, and what I guess I should do first is to decipher what makes a narrative compelling to me.
Yeah.
Because I have examples in my head that are, and my default is Over the Garden Wall, and I know that because I love the lost somewhere on a journey to return kind of thing. Journey and return is one of the 7 archetypes.
Yeah, it is.
I know that for a fact. The hero's journey is like classic. Everybody loves that one.
Yeah.
But I talked about this in figure illustration when David was mentioning something about, he went on another one of his canon of visual literature rants. And I asked if they taught a class at the university about storytelling. And I wasn't even specifying art, but he said that yes, in fact, he does teach a class over the summer called...
Oh, yeah.
It's like illustration and visual literature or something.
Yeah.
Visual storytelling.
Yeah.
And I saw that advertised. And in fact, when I was up at the World of Words, Kaya, you were there. They're smiling right now. You can't tell, but take my word for it.
I'll put a picture of smiling on the screen.
Of like a stock photo.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll put that Pooh Bear.
This is smiling. Oh, yeah. I realized that he used an image from Flotsam by David Wisner. Wiesner? I don't know. I'm going to call it Wisner. It sounds better to me.
Yeah.
Of octopuses sitting in chairs. It was actually really good. It was perfect. Like, that was a great example.
Yeah.
It was an undersea scene with, there was a broken, sunken shipping crate in the back, and then these fish were sitting in like a fully furnished living room underwater.
That's awesome.
With lamps and a coffee table and a rug and 2 recliners and a TV.
Yeah.
And the lamps were lit, but it took me a second. I realized that they were anglerfish with their little bioluminescent lures.
Oh, that's
as
cool.
The lamps. But it was just like no words, one image.
I love that.
And it had its own narrative.
Yeah.
Like it even in time.
That's
it worked
fascinating.
Out.
Yeah.
It took me a sec. The way that I put it together established
Oh, that's weird.
a time scale too, and I was like, "That's genius."
That's
This is
yeah.
great.
That's
and
that
that won a
sounds
Caldecott.
really hard.
So not just that illustration, but it was one of the ones in the book that won a Caldecott medal.
That sounds like that's really a difficult thing to do.
But I just love and admire storytellers, people who tell stories really well, and I would love to be that. And the channel that I've chosen to do that through is art, because I also love drawing. And so when I can successfully fuse the two, is when I'll really be a really good illustrator.
Yeah.
But as for right now, I have a general sense of the aesthetics that I'm after with this project, and no idea what the story is that I'm trying to tell. And so I want to, and we talked about this too. Do you write the story beforehand and know it, and then abstract and mystify it a little bit for your audience? Or do you write it or draw it without knowing the full story and just going off the idea that they are connected? And I say it's the first one. I don't think I'm personally capable of having a connection that will show up in the finished work without knowing what that connection is and having it spelled out beforehand.
And I tend to do it that way. I tend to do it the second way.
You tend to just
I tend to
establish the story afterwards.
Yeah, I just put together visual things together, and then I feel like I'm learning about the story more and more as I create it, and then it eventually comes together at the end.
And I'm wondering if maybe there's a middle ground where, like, I know I have like not 3 words, that's what I was gonna say, 2 sentences of a story.
Yeah.
Like the main premise. Like, let's say I wanted to do mine about monuments marking a hero's quest across a continent. And then what I make those monuments tells that story.
Yeah.
So I know that there is a story and generally what that story is about. But what that story is and the events within it are told by however my things come together. And I like that element of chance.
Yeah.
Because there's another thing that David likes to say where he's like, that he'll ask students how a piece turned out. And if they say, he's going to come on this show and have nothing to talk about. We're just parroting his own knowledge.
That's
anyway,
true.
I mean, what is a student?
Exactly.
He loves to ask people if a finished piece turned out like they saw it in their head. And art students are sort of conditioned to expect that the good answer there is yes. And so they'll often say, yeah, this is exactly how I pictured it. And he'll always go, oh, that's disappointing.
Oh, yeah. That happened to me once.
He believes in chance and exploration and diverting from your intended path.
Because exactly, because that's where you learn things. And I agree with that. Like, you don't really learn as much if your work of art comes out exactly the way you intended.
Mm-hmm. He's got a point.
Yeah.
The man's got a point.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Uh-oh.
What?
Are we out?
No. Oh, wait, what time is it?
It's 52 time.
Let's do 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
Okay, but then you have to go to bed.
Ma.
All right. Consult mama.
Consult mama.
Hey, can I have some of those pomegranates?
It's really hot in here today.
It is very warm in here. There's lots of bodies in this house.
Yes.
I said that all off mic. I hope it picks up. Would you like me to go turn on airing conditioner?
Yes.
Car noise. Whatever.
Why
it's
not
fine.
in the first place, in fact?
Maybe you have fancy mics, so it's fine.
True.
No, they're sensitive. They pick up.
They're
my
hypersensitive,
emotions.
just like me.
Ayo, can I get an amen?
Hell yeah.
All right, 2 windows are open. We officially have Cross Breeze.
I can't wait to our next podcast. This is me before my autism appointment, and then the next one will be in a post-autism world.
Mm-hmm.
This was a pre-autism world.
You're going to invent it on Wednesday.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm going to invent autism.
I'll have to think of a gift.
my coming out ceremony.
Coming out as autistic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you a present.
Aww. Is it a chocolate gorilla?
If I can swing that, I will.
If you can swing it, I might just kiss you. With consent, even.
I like it.
It's my
this
new
is growth.
It's this new thing called asking first. I think I'll try it.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission, really doesn't apply to consent.
Ask for forgiveness, not for permission. Yeah.
Everywhere else, there's maybe something
I
to it. Not there.
never made a connection between those things.
I
but-
didn't either until right now, and I was like, boy,
Yeah.
there really isn't. There is an inverse relationship.
That's kind of like the same when it's like, just keep trying, never give up. But it's not the same when you're asking someone out,
Mm-hmm.
and then it becomes harassment.
Mm-hmm. No matter what 80s romance movies would have you
Oh
believe.
yeah, don't
another
throw
trope.
rocks at shit at windows at girls or boys.
That's another trope that I really dislike.
Me too.
Hounding people until they say yes.
I don't really like
Making
this.
that like part of the romantic journey.
I don't like the stereotype that men are like obsessed with sex and are always trying to get something, have ulterior motives when they're with a female. And I don't know how common that is naturally. I think that a lot of people act that way because of how they see it in films and stuff. And I'm not someone who likes to blame film or representation on how people behave, because I think that everyone is responsible for how they behave, and that works of art shouldn't be given the blame. But I think that a lot of people don't think about why they do or say the things that they do. And so I would still blame the individuals, but it's still a stereotype that bothers me. And I also think because a lot of people like who aren't men or men who don't behave that way. So like people who aren't men might see stuff like that, and then if they don't interact with men in their daily life, they might get a sense that that's how men are. Or if there's someone like me who feels like they're very different than other people in the way they think and stuff, then it's like, if they're also isolated and they don't talk to a lot of other men, then they'll start to get the idea that like this is how all other men act or something, and then they'll start to feel hatred for other people of their own gender and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons that I don't like that stereotype, or I guess any stereotype.
Yeah, I think we're now at the point that like I don't like stereotypes because they misrepresent a group.
Yes.
Generalizations are bad.
But then what if it's accurate?
Uh-oh.
You're in trouble now.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
We're not.
And it's difficult to talk about stereotypes because I think sometimes people overreact to them. And I'm not the kind of person who said, okay, if there's a work of art or like a movie or something and it has a character who's a stereotype of some kind, I don't think that we should say this is the reason for racism, this is the reason for sexism, or we should ban this type of character or shame people for liking like Speedy Gonzalez or something.
It's such a useful tool to look at and say like, my God,
yeah,
how did we get here?
It's like it's a reflection of how we see things and how we see people. It is not the cause of those things, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But yeah, that is also one I particularly don't like. And we can go back to the prison rape thing too, because it's one of my least favorite jokes ever.
Yeah, that is such a horrifying. I don't know why that became funny.
I don't know. And that's also difficult for me to say because if you know
it's like a comedy standard too.
Yeah, I know
like
it's so common. It's in
pervasive.
Looney Tunes. It's adjacently in SpongeBob. I mean, it basically is in SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's basically a prison rape joke in SpongeBob because he's like, "Don't drop the soap."
He says hands
Gary.
soap, which he calls doubloons to Gary, and winks and says, "Don't drop them."
Yeah.
And it's like this is for children.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even get it when I was little. That's one of my favorite episodes, except for that. But
good episodes can have bad parts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's weird because like if you know anything about me, it's like I love really extreme, twisted, dark humor. But I think where it fails is when the punchline becomes the victim. You know,
yes.
I like dark humor when you're mocking the thing that's causing the evil, or you're mocking the joke itself, or if it's like a self-deprecating joke, like only an evil person would make a joke like that. You know, it's like that's what makes it funny. It's not like if someone gets cancer, like haha, you got cancer, I didn't. It's like you can only make it a joke if you contrast it with something that isn't dark, you know.
Then the prison rape joke is extra bad because not only is it about rape, but it's also like there's this depiction of this like giant buff gay dude.
Yeah, sometimes a black guy.
Yeah,
a lot of times it's like a gay black guy.
That's also really common too. The idea that like that's a representation
that like gay
of
people are rapists,
or that they're like outwardly, overtly always sexual,
or that it's like if you're a man and you've been raped, it's something that you should be humiliated for.
Yeah, people are like teased about it.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's bad all around.
It's like that makes you a weak person for letting that happen to you.
I can't remember what video I watched on this. Does Nerdwriter talk
I don't know what
about this?
Nerdwriter is.
Nerdwriter's pretty neat. Does he? No? Okay. I can't remember where I saw a really phenomenally well put together video about how it's a horrible thing. It might have been a John Oliver segment.
Yeah.
Which he's almost become a parody of himself now.
Oh, really?
Well,
I've only watched him a couple
times. I haven't watched
times.
him in a while. He's getting a little formulaic. I don't know.
Colbert did that.
I mean, if you're on a show, of course you're going to get formulaic. It's the same thing every week or whatever.
Yeah.
I have this problem with YouTubers, too. Like, I stand by my statement that Binging with Babish has gotten too corporate, and I don't really know what that means. It's just the vibes are off now.
Yeah.
He felt very of the people before, despite his $10,000 kitchen.
I felt that way with Game Grumps for a while, but I think I don't feel the same way anymore.
I think I feel that way now more than ever.
Really?
Sorry, Grumps.
Yeah, I mean...
I saw you live. I paid for your stuff. I love you forever. But
I still think they're funny, but...
I think they're having to bend to the algorithm.
Yeah, they're not as good.
And it's just unfortunate. I know they don't want to, but it's just sort of sad. Anytime you see somebody have to compromise on their...
I hate that.
On their own integrity.
That's really disgusting.
And
I'm not blaming them.
It's the system.
Yeah.
Good old system.
But what I was going to say is, like, I don't want to make the argument that you shouldn't make prison rape jokes because I have not heard every joke that can ever possibly be made. So I can't say with absolute certainty that there isn't a good prison rape joke or a funny one or one that is positive in a way. Because, I mean, like, essentially I make rape jokes a lot. When I say, like, I'll ask for consent later or something. That's technically a rape joke.
And we're laughing at the absurdity that anyone would ever think like
yes,
that.
exactly.
Or the absurd,
I'm
like
not
how
laughing at
blatantly,
victims.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're laughing at you.
Yeah,
in this
exactly.
situation, the horrible person.
It can be taken both as like a self-deprecating thing, or also pointing out the absurdity of, like not understanding consent to such a drastic level, or something like that. And so I think stuff like that is actually positive. I think that that's a way of processing difficult issues in a positive way. And that's not the same as like making a joke about men are weak who get raped and stuff like that. Or women who get raped.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I feel like the prison rape thing, especially when men are the victims, seems to get less discussion, at least overall. I think it's coming up more now because people are like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How long have we let this go on?
Yeah.
As people just become more conscious of issues of assault in general.
Yeah. Which I think is a really, really good thing.
Yeah. I was just thinking, the reason I chuckled earlier is because it was not about prison rape. I was zoning out and thinking about how you live a really, really dangerous life of making these jokes where, as you've described,
me?
You've described your humor involves momentarily pretending to be a horrible person.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's
so-
the funniest thing to me.
It is hilarious.
And it's because I hate horrible people. And that's my way of processing things. It's the same thing with like, that's the reason little kids go around shooting each other with their fingers and, going like this. It's because that's how they're trying to process the scary idea of gun violence, And I mean, that sounds like some kind of big overarching whatever that could be bullshit, but I really think that's real. It's like that's how kids cope with things, is that they turn to make believe, And that's kind of what I'm doing, I think.
I know, and I'm not criticizing
No,
that.
yeah.
I'm saying that people are really ready to hear a soundbite and assume that it's perfectly representative of you as a person.
That's gonna happen, and I don't care. I'm not gonna let people control me with fear. I'm not someone who is ever gonna. I don't think I'm ever gonna like run for office because I don't like the government and I don't want to participate in it, and I don't feel like I have to protect my reputation because of the lifestyle that I want to live. And so I'm not going to let people control me with the fear of bringing back something that I said a long time ago out of context and saying, look, this guy's a horrible person who supports these horrible things, which happens a lot,
It's no fun to live like that.
No, absolutely.
Having to watch everything you say.
Yeah, I hate that's
Not
horrible.
Not thinking about the things you say.
Yes.
But
I always
choosing to censor yourself.
Don't just blast shit out without thinking about it. Think about what you say. Think about your words, but don't censor yourself. I don't think it's the same thing.
Well, that's a good, inspiring little unqualified life advice thing to end on.
Spew.
Yeah, it was a good spew.
It's a good
How was it
spew.
for you, Michael?
I spewed.
Okay.
Should we end it on a good spew?
Sure.
All right. I love you.